Well, where in the name of God do we start this one? What an interesting couple of days, 24 hours. It appears that Fine Gael have 100% backed Simon Harris, which is fine. That's their choice. That's their prerogative. That's their decision as to what to do. However, with every action comes a reaction, obviously. And I'm not so sure it's the right thing to do. See, for a couple of again, look, this is just my opinion. This is just me reading into, the world of politics, the world we're living in. I could be talking absolute shite here now. The problem with backing him now is that if things start to get worse and then they decide not to back him, well, that means, aesthetically it makes them look like, they're getting rid of him for the wrong reason, because they're going, oh shit, actually this is serious. And if you decide to save one person at the sacrifice of an entire party, and people say, maybe you're overreacting, and maybe I am, I don't know. But you can see, no matter who within Fine Gael posts anywhere on social media, they are absolutely destroyed, torn apart. From a simple, look at me, I'm trying to do this and we're trying to do that in my area. No, you're not. And the hashtags follow. Justice for Harvey, resign Harris, resign Simon Harris, the same hashtags, which, by the way, I put up this morning. I've been tweeting for a hell of a long time, and I've tweeted an awful lot of shite over the last few years. But I can spot trends and I can spot stuff that's going on. And for those hashtags to all of a sudden disappear off the top trends in Ireland, something stank this morning. What happened? Now, I know you come off after a back of a very busy weekend of sport, of Oasis, of Trump, and you don't expect those hashtags to be in the top 5 or 6, maybe not even in the top 10, 15. They will, of course, they're going to drop out. But with the amount of times they were tweeted on Sunday, and particularly yesterday, they should have been back in the top 10 within a couple of hours, and no sign of them. And I tweeted it and put down, I said, something's going on here, and then all of a sudden stuff started reappearing. Still not as high as I think it should be, but anyway, that's for a whole other conversation. My point being is Fine Gael are in serious trouble. Again, just my opinion. I know all the Fine Gael people are watching me going, you're talking shit, we've never been stronger. Actually, I think it's you guys who are talking shit. Because now, with Mairead McGuinness pulling out of the presidential election, you now have Heather Humphreys, who's now secured the nomination from the party, which means Sean is not going to get in. Sean Kelly, is not going to be, he's more likely not going to get the nod. But you've now put forward somebody who only a couple of weeks ago told us didn't have the energy to run for it. I don't know. Are we on Lucasade Sport, or what's happened in the last couple of weeks? And now we do have the energy. But besides all that, your current leader of your party has made your party absolutely toxic, and you don't have to agree, disagree, like or hate what I'm saying. They're the facts. And people turn around and say social media, particularly Twitter, that does not dictate how the country perceives things. But unfortunately, it does, because I'm going to remind you of the election when you tried to remove mother and woman from the Constitution. And the government and the mainstream media, right up until the results came out of that referendum, said it's a 100% yes win for the government. Twitter, particularly myself, said it from day one, this would be a no, because you don't understand the mind of the Irish people. You want to remove the word mother, mom, mammy from the Constitution? Fuck right off, lads. Roger O'Gorman, fuck right off, which is exactly what happened. And now we are seeing on Twitter, now Twitter's a cesspit, right? You post something on Twitter, even if you come up with a cure for cancer, you're still an idiot. So, Twitter is an absolute cesspit. But Facebook tends to be, a kind of an in-betweeny. Instagram is where all the nicey people go, oh my God, you're amazing. And we saw that with Simon Harris's picture of when he was at Oasis. Now, this might piss a few people off, but here's my view on it. Everybody deserves a day off. Everybody deserves to be able to go off to a concert and have some fun and let the hair down, except for myself, obviously. But everybody deserves to unwind, no matter what, whether you're a politician, the Pope, or fucking whatever, doing nothing. The problem is that the man should never have tweeted it. I don't know what, and when you're, especially with all the backlash that have been going on for the last 10 days, what somebody should have turned around and say, Simon, okay, What do we gain? What do we lose? Lose, we're going to have a load of people saying we're an idiot for doing this and how dare we have fun and all the usual kind of shite. And we'll get a load of compliments and saying, oh, I hope you have a great time. Not one. Over 5,500 comments on Facebook and not one complimentary comment on saying, have a great day, Simon. Everybody that enjoys his night off. Absolutely torn a new hole on Facebook. And that says a huge amount. Twitter, you expect it. Facebook, you don't. And Facebook, when you get it, you go, oh shit, this is a serious problem. Now, don't tell me for a single second the powers that be within Fine Gael don't know this, don't see this, don't understand this. Of course they do. But now you're running somebody for the presidential election who, no matter what she says, is going to be torn apart, because the first thing anybody's going to say, well, if she came to me, I'd say, what's your stance with regards to what Simon Harris did and what he said, and the poor child who, you know, unfortunately lost his life because a promise was broken that no child, no person would wait more than 4 months to have their scoliosis operation or spina bifida. So what's your view and what's your stance on that? And now she's in a predicament. Now, she's in a predicament to say, well, actually, do you know, I kind of stand with Simon. Okay, well, you're not getting my vote. Well, actually, I don't stand with Simon. Well, why haven't you come out with that publicly? It's an awful mess for the party. And the party are going to have to accept this, whether they like it or not. Unfortunately, Simon Harris, right now, is toxic for the party. So it's like, how much of a kick in the balls can you keep taking until you decide to, maybe I should actually roll over and get the fuck out of here? How much of a beating can they take as a party because of Simon Harris before they turn around and say, listen, Simon, really sorry, but you gotta go? Because in my mind, that is the only thing that fixes things. Because people, rightly or wrongly, want their pound of flesh. And as I've said before in other videos, you can't blame a politician for when something goes wrong. Like I said, if somebody gets in a car crash, you can't blame the Minister for Transport if somebody, God forbid, died in a car crash. But when you make a promise, that changes everything. And unfortunately, Simon Harris made the promise. And then unfortunately, he has dealt with this like a hot bag of shit that he did not want to deal with. That's the problem. All he had to do was come out, call the parents straight away, acknowledge it, turn around and even say, do you know, like, everybody makes a mistake. Everyone says something, you know, that they shouldn't have said. Even if he turned around, he said, look, I was wrong with my words for the promise. I might have bought him some grace. Not a lot, but it might have bought him something. But completely brushed under carpet, because from what I can see, the man was completely advised, just stick your head in the sand. This is Ireland. It'll all blow over. You didn't expect a nation to stand behind two parents who lost their child. You never saw that coming. And it's the exact same as the referendum. And that's why when people say you're talking shite, this is not a big deal. It is a big deal. You did not see the people of Ireland turn around and go, what are you on about? You want to remove mother from the Constitution and woman from the Constitution that's been spearheaded by Roger O'Gorman? Huh? You talking shite? They did not expect that backlash. Don't forget what they all came out and said, oh, it's the right thing to do. It wasn't the right thing, never the right thing to do. And they got the result that they deserved, which was an overwhelming no. Listen to me, Fine Gael. I know you're watching all my stuff. Listen to me. The longer you keep Simon Harris as a leader of your party, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm just giving you my opinion. I can see what's playing out here. The longer you keep him, the worse you look like as a party. Because now you just got, oh yeah, we need to get rid of him. No, because now everyone's going to turn on you to say, why did it take so long? Why did it take so long for you to acknowledge the wrongdoings as to what happened? It's going to look crap on you. The longer you keep him, the worse it's going to affect your party, because this ain't going anywhere. People are not letting this go. What do? In my opinion, he's got to be removed quicker than anything else. That's the only thing. You're still going to go through some shit, but that will blow over. But you need to get rid of him. That's my opinion. I could be totally wrong. As always, let me know, guys. I love reading the comments. Am I reading too much into this? Am I talking shite? You know, am I on the ball? I know, it's just my opinion. The ramblings of a madman is just finished work. Anyway, have a great day. Can't wait to see all the comments. Take care.